Welcome back to the Thursday night Pnimis Shiur, which should be Zeicha to be Marbe Kveit Shemayim and learn a little bit more about take a peek inside the Torah and take a peek inside the world and a peek inside of ourselves, Bez Hashem. To get an inside view of who we really are, what the world really is, and what our tachlis really is. A little more of inside view, if I could add something to that view. Came across a Rashi this week. More on Shabbos Daf Peichesim and Beis says that Torah is Sama de Chaya inside the Maisa. Torah is it's a medicine that can cause life, and it could be a poison that causes death. More says Ma'aminim ba, or if you're Ma'aminim ba Lashon Yamin, right? So then it's Sama de Chaya. Dr. Rashi, what is Ma'aminim ba? Asukim Chakoicham Vitrudim Las Ladas Soida. A person that puts all his koach into his learning, and he's matching himself. He makes it difficult. He goes through the effort ladas soida to know the soidas haTorah. I'm not sure Rashi meant per se the chelik from Parshas known as soid, but Rashi says soida and avada ayin panel Torah, and there's an inyan to try to get some sort of deeper understanding of Torah outside of the pshat and the lamdas, which was so bakant. Is the tachlis of the Olam HaYeshivas, and the tachlis of the Thursday night shiurim is a little bit ladas soida, if you move an amila of soid. This is I look at this as a shiur as maybe being a Chasidus 101, Kabbalah 101. So we'll start off with one of the most famous maises of the best, the Baal Shem Tov, to bring out the point of where we're headed. The Mezritch Magid was originally not Chasidish, and somehow it ended up he felt compelled to go to the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov was waiting for the Maggid to come from for a long time. He knew that he was his successor, and he and when the Maggid comes in, so the Baal Shem Tov says, "Do you learn Torah? You know Torah?" He says, "Yeah, I learned. I know how to learn." He says, "Can learn Zohar? You know Zohar?" He says, "Yeah, I know Zohar also." He says, "If you can be masber me, this shtickle Zohar. It's a shver shtickle Zohar. Maybe you can be masber to me." So Maggid looks it over, he reads the Zohar, and he teaches the pshat, and he says, "Gewaltige pshat, very tzimzach in the Zohar." So Baal Shem says, "Very good. Now let me read you pshat in the Zohar." And he reads the Zohar, and he says pshat exactly the same way as the Maggid says pshat in the Zohar. However, this Zohar had in it many shemos of malachim. And every time the Baal Shem Tov said the shem of that malach, all of a sudden the room was filled up with the light of that malach. So when he finished his pshat in the Zohar, so the Maggid said, "You said exactly what I said." He says, "Yes, in pshat I said exactly what you said." But he says, "But the hergish and the pnimis of it and the leiv and nefesh that you had in it and the leiv and nefesh that I have in it are very different. And that's why by me you saw the Torah came alive, the Torah came to life." And this is be'emes what this is the 101 of Chasidus. Torah comes to life, and the pnimis of Torah shines forth. Not only does the pnimis of Torah shine forth when it comes to learning Gemara, Rashi, Taisus, Mishayim, Achronim, and Avada, the Sisrei Torah, but pnimis Torah comes to life in everyday life. And with that, I want to illustrate it with another story, one of my favorite stories. There was a Kuznetzer Rebbe, many Kuznetzer Rebbes, but one of the Kuznetzer Rebbes in Warsaw right before the war, I think his name was Rabbi Aaron Yechiel of Kuznetz. He was a Isha Pella. He was a person, he was nifta young, and he was known his entire life. He had a lot of Hasidim, but he lived his life mamish like a Isha Pella. Everything he did was not al pi pshat. Nothing was al pi pshat. He'd sit by Tish, and he was so fadvekit, he couldn't say Torah. He would try to say Torah, he couldn't. And he would do random things at different times, which afterwards were nisbar to be gewaldige tikkunim for people. One Friday night by the Tish, the Rebbe is sitting by the head table, and he calls out, "Yankel Troger zal kommen sagen Torah." Who's Yankel Troger? Yankel Troger, he's a porter in the train station, not exactly from the biggest lamdanim in Warsaw, and he invites him up to the head table to say Torah. He's sitting all the way in the back. He probably had more beer than anybody else, and they say, "No, Yankel, the Rebbe called you up to say Torah." He said, "What? You must have misheard." So he ignores it. Again, Yankel Trog, come Zagen Torah. They said, "No, it's definitely you. You have no choice. up to the head table, say Torah. He goes up to the head table. He says, Rabbi, you want me to say Torah? I don't know any Torah. You know my name. I'm Yankel Trogan, not Yankel Lamdin. He says, Yankel, stop with the Narishkeiten. Nu zog Torah. I don't know Torah. Okay, tell the Olam what happened at work today. Oh, what happened at work today? I'd be happy to share with Olam what happened at work today. He says, Erev Shabbos. I didn't have any money in the bank for Shabbos. The trains were tied up in Atvotsk. Backup, traffic tie-up, gridlock, alert. And no trains came into the train station in Warsaw. And it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, early Shabbos, no money for Shabbos. All of a sudden, a wagon pulls up, and the wagon has on the back of the wagon a huge box. And I run over. They obviously need someone to schlep the box. Let me take your box from you. I'm a porter. I can take it. They say, listen, this box weighs 300 pounds. You're going to need at least 2 other people to help you. I was so desperate to make money for Shabbos, I told them, listen, I'll do it myself. I don't want to split the tip with anybody else. I'll do it myself. They said, buddy, if you do this yourself, we'll give you $50. Right? $50 back then in Poland was a lot of money. So he says, deal. He bends down behind the carriage. 3 people push this box onto his back. As the box settles on his back, he realizes this may not have been the best bet of his life. And his mom, she's about to collapse. And he says, Ribono Shel Olam, man kvod shimcha, man kedushas haShabbos, give me koyach to carry this box. And he says, with that tefillah, all of a sudden this box felt like 2 birds floating on my shoulders, and I ran across 15 tracks, and everyone was sitting there with their mouths wide open, and they gave me $100, as a tip. So when you finish this story, the Rebbe turns to him and says, Yankel, du hast gemeint, als du weißt nicht Torah, du hast nicht kein Torah zu sagen. Is a zisa Torah from that Torah. This is the zisa Torah in the world. As that Torah that a yid is in a matziv, and he recognizes that the pnimis comes out, squeezes out his pnimis. For you, I'll do anything. And the siyata dishmaya that he has from that. This is the ikar pnimis haTorah that is the Bez Hashem as cook on our lives. We will be able to take out of this type of learning, just like a musig of pnimis, just in everyday life. We go to work every day. Work was full of mali nisyonis. So you ask the average person, what's pshat? You go to work with so much nisyonis. You say, listen, I got to go to work. I got to make a living. And unfortunately, there's lots of nisyonis on the way to work, on the way back from work, at work. That's life. Life is mali nisyonis. That's backwards. That's not the pneumistic view. You don't go to work and may have nisyonis. A yid has to live in this world with nisyonis. You know what? To have nisyonis that you need to have, you have to sit on a train for half hour there. You have to sit on a train half hour back. And you have to have these menuvalim surrounding you to make it nisyonis. This is a yid's life is mulling nisyonis. The yid has to have nisyonis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you need to have nisyonis. Oh, you need to have nisyonis? Okay, go to work. And memeli have nisyonis. Okay, so it's not the pshat that the nisyonis are b'di'evet and nebuch. I have to go to work. I have to make a living. I have nisyonis. No, you have to have nisyonis. You have to have nisyonis. You need nisyonis. You know where the nisyonis are? At work, on the way to work, way back from work. And this is a more pneumistic embracement of our tachlis achayim and the nisyonis that we face. Mahatzach in Chodesh Kisleiv, in the middle of Chodesh Kisleiv. Kisleiv is a month of Mali Pneumius. The Bnei Yisachar tells us Kisleiv is the words Kes Lamed Vav. It has in it, it's the container that has in it the Lamed Vav Iris, Lamed Vav Shois of the Ar Haganos that was Shailit from Maaseh Beishis. The Ar Haganos is Shailit for I guess from the Biz Dechet. The Ar Haganos are through Shabbos. He makes a cheshbon. There are 36 hours of Ar Haganos that was Shailit. And connected the Lamed Vav Shemus of it says Ar Lamed Vav times in the first parsha of the Torah. But this is what he says: Kes Lamed Vav, that Chodesh of Kisleiv is the Zman where this is the container where you have the Ar Haganos is hidden, and Chanukah be'emes is the yontiv of Ar Haganos. As we know that the nes of the menorah, the Ar of the menorah is the Ar of Torah. And it's the R that is Ganos in Torah. And this is the avodah of Kisleiv and Chanukah to bring out the pnimius of Torah and the pnimius of the Ar Haganos. The middle of the month is the high point of the month. This is the strongest point with it. The milah of the month is the middle of the month. And this is the Tezvav of Kisleiv, which is today, is a day which is very misugal for all the kaichas of the month. The Ar Haganos is, where's Ar Haganos? Ar Haganos is Ganos in Torah Alein. And the Ar Haganos is Be'emes Ganos in the Torah Shabbat Peh. The Torah Shabbat Peh, which is the uptight, which brings out all the sidus from the Torah Shabbat. This is where the R is Ganos. The Tezvav of Kisleiv, which is the Zman of the Spitz Case Lamed Vav, is the yard side of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. And Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is the person who was tasked with bringing out Torah Shabbat Peh, Kefi, the way we have it, Kefi, all the sidus that we have in it in today. So I'd like to talk a little bit about Rabbi Yehuda Nasi and how he fits into this week's parsha. It's well known, Sfar Makadeshim tell us, that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, he came into this world as a Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu. When you say a Gilgal, he's a Nitzitz of Yaakov Avinu. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was called Rabbeinu HaKadosh. And Yaakov Avinu is the third bracha of Shemoneh Esrei, which is a Kel HaKadosh. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi has this title of Kadosh because he has the shaychus to Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu in this week's parsha has the big showdown. Yaakov Avinu versus Eisav. And be'emes, in the pnimius of the showdown between Yaakov and Eisav, there's something much deeper going on. On the chitzoniistic view, it's a question. It's purely a question of pikuach nefesh. Is Yaakov Avinu going to survive? But in the pnimius over here, what's really going on is Yaakov Avinu understands that he's in this world to be Mekadosh Shem Shemayim. He recognizes that his brother Eisav is also here to be Mekadosh Shem Shemayim on some level, to be a keli of this Kiddush Shem Shemayim, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But ultimately, Eisav is going to have this tikkun. And Yaakov, in his whole interaction together with Eisav, is trying to make this tikkun in Eisav. This is what's underneath the scene, what's going on in the interaction between Yaakov and Eisav, is it talking about Lasid Lavai, Vayimashim Hartzir, Lishbar is Har Eisav, Vayisal Hashem HaMelucha, and the Vayisal Hashem HaMelucha is going to be Dorch the tikkun of Eisav. And this is what's going on beneath the scenes in this showdown between Yaakov and Eisav. I'm not making this up, right? The Vilna Gaon says it. Most people see the Vilna Gaon, thinks the Vilna Gaon he's just being sharp, but I don't believe the Vilna Gaon had that great a sense of humor. And the Vilna Gaon says, it sounds like a sharp of art, but I think be'emes, this is the point the Vilna Gaon is saying. The pasuk says, "Vayir Yaakov ma'od vayetzalai." Yaakov was very afraid, vayetzalai, and he was in pain. He was distressed. He was afraid and distressed. In fact, Rashi, what's the double lashon? What's vayir and vayetzer? Shema yehareg. The Shema yehareg acherim. He was afraid maybe he would get chas v'shalom get killed. Shema yehareg acherim. Maybe he'd kill others. In fact, the obvious kasha, habala hargacha hashkem lahargai, right? So was he worried if someone's trying that he kills a raidiv? Zak the Vilna Gaon, Shema yehareg acherim is none other than Man Acherim, Rab Meir. Okay, when the Gemara brings down a braysa Acherim Aimrim, Acherim is Rab Meir. What does it mean? Shema Yehareg Rab Meir. So the Vilna Gaon, the Rab Meir is Banan Shageirim. Right, the Gemara says that Nir and Kesar, or the general of Nir and Kesar, is shayla exactly who it was, but someone that had a shaykhs very high up in the Roman government had having to do with Nir and Kesar was sent to destroy the Beis HaMikdash. And this is the Gemara in Hanizakin and Gittin. And he ended up being Megayer. V'nafek minei Rab Meir. Nir and Kesar, Machos Raimi is Eisav. Kumtais, that if Eisav would be killed over here, V'nir Zay Machos Raimi, there's no Machos Raimi, there's no Nir and Kesar. No Nir and Kesar, there's no Rab Meir, V'nafek minei. What's the pnimius of sin? Nice word, right? But the answer is that the fact that Rab Meir comes from Nir and Kesar, this is the Tachlis HaBriya. The Tachlis HaBriya is that Yaakov and Eisav have some sort of birurim together, some sort of tikkun together, and ultimately the ultimate Kvayt Shemayim comes when there is Gila Kvayt Yisbarach Dorch Yaakov and Eisav together. And Nir and Kesar and Rab Meir is the tikkun of Eisav. Inasmuch as that Rab Meir is the or of Tersh Ba'Peh, Stam Asnisin is Rab Meir, and Rab Meir is the Tersh Ba'Peh, which has to do with the Gila of Malchus Shemayim Olam Hazeh. Just to give a little hakdama, right? We have Tersh B'Chsav is Keneged. We'll say Keneged the Vav of Shem Havaya, and Tersh Ba'Peh is Heachrein of Shem Havaya, which is really Shemayim and Aretz. So Tersh Ba'Peh is the Gila of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Olam HaTachtoin, which is Eisav, who is Olam HaAsiyah, Lashon of Asui. So Mela, when you have Tersh Ba'Peh, which is Megula Dorch Eisav Daika, this is the Gresta Tikkun in Eisav. And Mela Yaakov, who's sitting here interacting with Eisav, trying to bring out the Tikkun Olam, trying to bring out the Gila K'vay Yisbarach in Olam HaTachton, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Misav Elias like Dira B'Tachtoinei Tachtoinim. This is where Yaakov Avinu wanted to have this Tikkun, and Mele, he says we have to interact in a way that we have the Siyata Dishmaya to bring out the Tikkun of Eisav, and not Chas V'Shalom to stare it. Tonight is the Yahrzeit of Yehuda Nasi. Yehuda Nasi is also involved in this Tikkun of Yaakov and Eisav. Where's Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi involved in this tikkun of Yaakov and Eisav? Because as a well-known Chavishaf, the well-known Chavusashaf between Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi and Antoninus, which Rashi tells us, the beginning of Parshas told us, that Shem ben Noach tells Rivka, Shnei Goyim bevidnei Shnei Goyim ksiv, Antoninus v'Rebbe. But from the very beginning of the interaction of this relationship, Yaakov and Eisav, even before they're born, it's Shnei Geim b'Vitnech. Antoninus v'Rebbe are sitting here. What's the pnimis of Antoninus v'Rebbe? What happens is Rivka has a problem, right? I have a steer going on over here. I seem to have kedusha. I seem to have tumah going on. What is it? So Shem tells Rivka Zolsvisin, there is a stira now. Aber Zolsvisin Shnei Geim B'Mindach, there's going to be a yishuv to this stira. There's going to be a tikkun to this stira, because after many dairis, Yaakov and Eisav are going to reappear onto the scene as Antoninus v'Rebbe, and the Chavishaf between Antoninus v'Rebbe is going to Megala Gvaldik Kvayt Shemayim. How is it Megala Kvayt Shemayim? The Gemara tells us, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says that he was zoichet to see Rameir Me'achayrav. And the Moli Re'isi Oisim Yipanav, my madregas would have been much greater. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was told in his total, all his madregas, he was told in Rameir, that he saw Rameir Me'achayrav and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi today because of Rameir. So it comes out that Rameir, who is, come from Eisav Lane, is Megala, brings out the Kedusha of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, right? And then now Rabbi Yehuda Nasi and Antoninus have this interaction in a way that you have Nocha Tikkun. That Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Dorch Antoninus, is able to bring out all the Torah Shabbat Peh, the Stam Astis and Libder Meir is only brought out by Rabbi. The only reason we have Stam Astis is because Rabbi was Masada Mishnah, and Stam Astis is Masada Libder Meir. Where's Antoninus in this mix? So Rashi tells us that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was only able to put together all Chachmei Yisrael because Antoninus, the Kesar, he funded this entire mifal, this entire initiative. Antoninus told Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, as much money as you need, take. He gave him millions, tens of millions, whatever amount of money he gave him. He supported all Chachmei Yisrael to sit and be Misad the Torah Shabbat Peh the way we have it now. So Antoninus and Rabbi Yehuda Nasi were mamish a team together. They teamed up together exactly the way Yaakov and Eisav were meant to team up together. Eisav has Mishmani Aretz, he has the finances. Yaakov has the Torah, you finance the Torah, and out from that comes Torah Shabbat Peh the way we have it today. Just looking at it a little bit deeper, Yaakov stole the brachas. He has Mishmani Aretz. How does Antoninus have Mishmani Aretz if Yaakov has Mishmani Aretz? So, just one Yisoid when it comes to the Bechina of Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov and Yosef are always one Bechina. Eila told us Yaakov Yosef. Yaakov and Yosef are one unit. Okay, Yaakov is referred to as Vav of the Shem Havaya. Yud Kei Vav. Yud is Avram, Kei is Yitzchak, and Vav is Yaakov. And the Vav is Nimshach Sat Lamata, and the end of the Vav is the Bechina of Yosef. Okay, which is Yisayid, which is the end of Yaakov. So whenever you talk about a tikkun that Yaakov is making, it's always Yaakov and Yosef, like we saw last week's parsha, right? Yaakov le'esh beis Yosef lahava beis Eisav lakash. Yaakov and Yosef are the misaknim of Eisav. The Medrash tells us that Yosef, he gathered up all the gold of the world, all the finances of the world, all the wealth of the world, and he put into 3 oitzares, 3 storehouses. The first storehouse Korach found. The second storehouse Antoninus found. And the third storehouse is waiting for one of us to find it. Okay, but at the end of the day, Antoninus' entire wealth came from where? From Yaakov Yosef. So Yaakov and Yosef are the emes that have Mishmani Haaretz who gave it back to Antoninus to give him the opportunity to be Mizakeh Eisav with this tikkun. It's a big chiddush that Eisav could have a tikkun. It's a big chiddush. We wouldn't think that, right? If not for the fact that Chazal tell to us. However, I was just thinking like a remez of it. The Gemara tells us, the Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that Antoninus asked Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, when does a baby get its Yetzirah? Mishas Yitzira or Mishas Yitzia? From the moment he's conceived, whatever the type of Yitzir is, or Mishas Yitzia from the moment of from being born. So Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi told him Mishas Yitzira, the Yetzirah arrives in the child very early on in his development. So Antoninus tells him, Im Kain, if that's so, that a child got his Yetzirah so early, he would leave. He would rebel, right? What would he be? He would stick it around over with the Eisav. He'd be going out to party right away, or whatever the taich is, okay? But he would not stick around in his mother's stomach for another minute if he had a Eisav. Elamai, Dr. Antoninus, the Eisav of a person enters when he's Yotzei. Rabbi was Makabel, and he says, you're right, and you have a Raya, Pesach Chatas Roivetz, that the Eisav is waiting for you by the Pesach, by the door. What's the pneumius of this conversation? The pneumius of the conversation is that Eisav, right? The Mepharshim asking this Gemara, what's going on over here? Everything's pumfakert. Eisav is the guy who was kicking to go out the whole time. He clearly had a Yetzirah earlier, right? That's what it would appear, right? If that's how you teach it, that Eisav is mefarches lotzes. If he's mefarches the whole time, he has a Yetzirah the whole time. If he has a Yetzirah the whole time, then he probably wasn't listening to the Malach Shiur in his mother's stomach. Right? And Mistami, he's gone Amaretz, Hanish Kain Chiyush from Torah. There's no tikkun for as I mentioned, didn't learn Pri 1A didn't learn Kol Torah Kul in his mother in Bimei Imai. And Mele there's no tikkun for him. That's what you would think. And that's what Rabbi Tained. Antoninus do best Eisav, right? And you don't have a chance, right? Because your chiyus is in Torah. You learn Torah b'mei imay, not because it's you're bored. You learn Torah b'mei imay because kiyem chayenu. If you don't have Torah, you don't have chiyus. So in order for Urba to have chiyus, you have to have Torah kiyem chayenu. Comes along Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi tells him, Eisav, you were playing hooky. You don't have any chiyus. There's no tikkun for you. Antoninus of name, there is a tikkun for me. Right? Because I learned to call Torah Kul, I have the Zel b'chiyus as you. B'shas Yitzia, I had a problem. And this is what Shem ben Noach was telling Rivka, that they gave bevitnech the Antoninus for Rebbe, because Zolsvisten bevitnech, they were learning the whole time. He's mefarches lotzes. Now, yeah, you're going to give birth tomorrow. He's already on his way out. Now he's being mefarches. But Zolsvisten that the tikkun is shaykh by Eisav, the Taka learned b'mei imay. Nochdem, when Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi Taka was mekabel from Antoninus, that he shaykh a tikkun, so Taka together they partnered to make this gavaldik a tikkun. Maybe just a Ferencz with a word to bring out on this inyan. The pasuk tells us The end of Parshas told us that Yitzchak sent Yaakov to Haran to get married. And it says he sent him to the house of Lavan, Achi Rivka, Aim Yaakov Eisav. Rivka is called Aim Yaakov Eisav. What does it mean Rivka is called Aim Yaakov Eisav? What's the point of referring to Yitzchak sending him to Lavan, who is the brother of Rivka? There's also Rivka is also the mother of Yaakov Eisav. Dr. Rashi, Aim Yaakov Eisav. Ein Yodea Mamal Amdeinu. I don't know what this pasuk is telling us, right? What's the point of referring to Yaakov and Eisav, referring now to Rivka as Aim Yaakov Eisav? So I was thinking this is the pshat. Yitzchak had an idea to give brachas to Eisav. Yitzchak understood Eisav has his role. At the end of the day, Yaakov got the brachas. So you would think what? Eisav is ice. That's what you think. At the end of the day, Yitzchak's havmina is upgefrekt, right? And Eisav is gone. There's just Yaakov. Comes along the pasuk. Yitzchak sends Yaakov to Haran, but Yitzchak's opinion of Yaakov and Eisav is they're still connected. They're still aim Yaakov and Eisav. I mean, Yaakov and Eisav in Yitzchak's mind still have a connection because, like we're saying, despite the fact that at that moment, Eisav's role was diminished, but in the future, Seifa Chazal Yitayr, and there's going to be a tikkun of Eisav, and Kila Kvayt Shemav is going to come durch Yaakov and Eisav. So Aim Yaakov and Eisav is telling us that despite the fact for now, Yitzchak's Havamina did not play out, but Yitzchak L'Maskan is going to play out. Even though Mitchila, Eisav is not such a player, but Libesayf, Eisav is going to partner with Yaakov. So just b'derech remez, Rashi says, Ein Yodea Mamal Amdeinu. If you look at the Rashi Tevis and the Seifei Tevis of the words Ein Yodea Mamal Amdeinu, you get a very interesting Rashi Tevis and Seifei Tevis. We've introduced last week the concept of Yichud Kutcher Bichu Shchinte. His idea, the whole tachas of Avodas Hashem is miyachet HaKadosh Baruch Shmoi Ba'olam, and to bring out Gila Kveda Yisbarach Ba'olam, which is described in making a shiluv or making a yichud between two shemus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which we're very familiar with, we look at it all day, and Aleph Daled, which we say all day. Okay, Yud Kei Vav Kei is Matcha 26, and Aleph Daled, Adai Shem is Matcha 65. 65 and 26 is 91. So 91 is the big number in the most basic Yichud Kutchabrichu Shchinte. The Rashi Tevis of Ein Yodea Mamal Amdeinu is 91. The Seifei Tevis of Ein Yodea Mamal Amdeinu is 91, which is telling us that Yitzchak's Havamina was that there is going to be a Yichud Kutchabrichu, is going to be a Gila Kvayda Yisbarach Ayidei Eisav also. Zokt Rashi, this is Niskai Libesayf. The Rashi Tevis, the Yichud Mitchila, the Yichud is only coming durch Yaakov. Libesayf is Aim Yaakov Eisav is going to be a Yichud Mitchila durch Yaakov, and Libesayf is going to be a Yichud at the end of days when the tikkun is ultimate. Is going to be this Yichud Kutchabrichu between Yaakov with durch Eisav also, and that could be the Remez in Rashi. The Emtzai Tevis that are left over, Begematria 194, which is Begematria Tzedek. Tzedek, the Medrash tells us is Yitzchak Alein. It says the pasuk says. The pasuk says. What does the pasuk say? Miyaga ba'alecha mishkay mehakachecha haylech tamim upayal tzedek v'day ve'emes b'vavay haylech tamim ze Avram payal tzedek ze Yitzchak v'day ve'emes midas emes is ze Yaakov. The Yitzchak is called midas tzedek. So the tzedek, the midas Yitzchak is correct. If it's zayin yichud kvayt shemayim, yichud kutcher bichu shchitei mitchilai de Yaakov and lebesayf Yitzchak's havmina will also be a maskana. Taka be zeicha to see that every day of our life in this galus of Eisav, that is bringing out all the nisanis, to bringing out tikkunim that we are going to be, that we must necessarily have to go through every day and be able to be marbek kvayt shemayim. It's not we never live a b'di'evidik life. Every day of life is precious. Every day is an opportunity. Every nisayin is custom made because you need the nisayin, and everything else is just a background. We should be zeicha to be as God tzedek meher.